Hello and welcome. My name is Suzanne and this is Money Made Magic, where we look at all things budgeting, frugal living, and all things, about saving money. And today's video is just about resetting the budget. That's where I am at the moment, so I thought I'd share with you how I've done that. So let's get right into it. One of the things that have happened to me this month is that I have lost some income. So part of my income was made up by a little bit of a side hustle, and unfortunately that's come to an end for various reasons, and I'm not going to go into the details of that, but the reality is that I've lost a chunk of income that comes in regularly, and I was very aware that that may happen, so I've kind of prepared, but I wanted to share with you what I've done in terms of working out how I now plan for things. You may remember, if you have watched me before, I'm paying down debt, and beginning of the year I was able to chunk off quite a sizable amount of one of those credit cards, which was awesome. I'm not going to be able to do that really anymore, and I did think that if I lost that income I might not be able to pay anything off. However, because I've sat down with my finances and I've looked at what comes in and what goes out, I have worked out a bit of a plan. So let me share that with you. I will put some figures up on the screen so you can see that visually, and bear with me if I'm not looking directly at you, because I do have to glance down at my figures on my notes, because I've not got a head for figures and I can't always remember what the numbers are. Basically, here's where I am, and I don't know whether you can identify with this or not. I'm sure you can. If you're watching this channel, you're watching this video, you're probably trying to work out yourself how you actually manage a tight budget. And this is what it's all about. This is about me helping you to manage that tight budget. So by sharing what I've done, hopefully you will be able to get some sort of direction from that. So the first thing I do is I write down what my income is. My income at the moment is just under £2,000 a month. That comes directly into my account. I have a full-time job. I'm really lucky with that. And now there isn't any other extra income. I'm a single person household, so I have to manage all the bills on my own. I suppose the plus side to that is I don't have any dependents. I've not got any children living with me. I've not got anybody else that relies on that income. That is solely my income. My outgoings without my credit cards are £1,154 or thereabouts. That includes my rent, my council tax, my insurances, so for the car and for the home. I have gym membership, which admittedly I don't use enough, and I do need to get my head back around that. My water rates, a TV licence, which I begrudgingly pay because I don't watch much TV. I do have Netflix, which I watch sometimes. I do need to think about whether I need that. I do pay for YouTube Premium. The reason I do that is because I do watch a lot of YouTube and I don't watch much TV, so I just find that really does, it really does give me value. I get all my music streamed on there, and I watch a lot of programs, podcasts and all sorts of things. What else do I pay? I have an account fee with the bank, which I think is value for money because I get my breakdown insurance on that. Recently I've had to use that, so I had a burst tyre. The AA came out and fixed that for me, no charge. It was amazing. I also pay for my phone contract, so my handset's paid for, but I do pay for usage. And I've also got a Samsung Galaxy tablet that I'm still paying for. That's nearly paid off. I kind of go between £100 to £200 a month on energy and internet. Those are built in together because I have one provider for them all. In the summer I pay around about £100. In the winter I can pay in excess of £200. It depends how much I'm using the heating and things like that. I do try very hard not to put the heating on, but I do think that you do need to keep warm. I pay £15 a month to Specsavers. I have contact lenses, that's my contact lenses. I know I've not got them on today, but just having a break from them today. And then I put £25 away into a little savings account, and that goes towards my Christmas fund. So that's my sort of basic outgoings. On top of that, I'm now paying about £301 a month to my credit cards. Can't quite remember how much I've got in credit card debt. I am trying to pay that down. So where I am at the moment is my current total outgoings are £1,455 or thereabouts against my £2,000 income. So it doesn't leave me much. I think it leaves me about £538 a month for fuel, food and anything else I want to do. So here's what I do with that. The first thing I do is I look at the essentials that need to come out of that remainder of that budget after my bills, and that's food. So for food at the moment I'm allocating £100 a month. I've realised over the months, because I've been budgeting and shopping really frugally, that I can probably survive on average about £25 a week. There may be weeks where I spend less, and there may be weeks where I spend more, but it averages out. So my aim is to go to £100 a month with that. I have to have a fuel budget because I do have to travel for work. Sometimes I do have to go into the office, and I do have to go and visit my family. So I'm allocating £50 a month for fuel, and then I have to allocate £50 a month for passing through a tunnel. It's got a toll on it, and that keeps going up. So I spend about £50 a month on that because I go through it about 3 times a week for a double journey. I then allocate myself £40 a week to what I call a coffee budget. The coffee budget is more than the coffee budget, so I have in that £40, that's for me having coffee with my friends, going out with my mum for lunch, maybe having a takeout with a friend, those kinds of things. Once it's gone, it's gone. And if somebody then rings me up and says, hey, do you fancy going out on Friday? No, I don't go. I have £40 and that's what I have. If I've got something coming up, I plan for that. So I go, actually, I've got £40 in that budget, therefore I can't go to coffee with my friends this Saturday because I'm going to need £20 to do whatever it is I've planned. And then I have what I call a sundries budget. A sundries budget is £20, and what that does is that pays for things like if I need to park the car somewhere in town, a couple of quid. If I need to add some money to a collection at work, if it's someone's birthday or someone's leaving gift. So it's that sort of cash that you need to do those things. And again, when it's gone, it's gone. You know, and I'm really strict on that. And I do allocate myself a hair and beauty budget, which is around £60 a month, and that sounds a lot, but I've got coloured hair and I tried doing without, and I just felt such a mess. I think you've got it, your self-care is really important, and for me, you know, I do all sorts of things. I do go, you know, for Reiki, and I've had reflexology and all sorts of things, and they're lovely, and I'll probably still go to those and build those into the budget at some point. But at the moment, I just need to think about what's the most important thing. And for me, just having a decent sort of colour on my hair and having it just been a bit different, I think it's really important. So I put that away. And what I do usually with all of those things is I take those out in cash, because if they've come out in cash, then I'm not tempted to overspend with just flashing my card here, there and everywhere. I think you lose track of things when you do that with your debit card. What I figured out is if I have all those things, what my budget does is it means I'm going to spend about £345 a month of the £538 I've got left after my bills, which is going to give me something like £193 a month that's not allocated to a spend. And I'm actually really shocked, surprised at that. I didn't think there'd be much left, but there's nearly £200 there that's not allocated to a spend. So what I'm doing with that, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to be very careful with that. I am going to put £100 of that away every month for things like tax bill that I know will come in April, people's birthdays, special occasions, contingencies. I have got a savings fund, and that's for things like massive car repairs, you know, different things. If I need to take an extended period off work, that's there. It's a little nest egg, and I don't really want to touch that. So that £100 going into that fund will really help me feel secure, and mean that if something comes up, maybe the Christmas works night out, that I wouldn't ordinarily add into my budget, I may be able to take some money from that and pay to go out. I think it's really important to continue to have your social life. Your mental well-being is really important when you are paying down debt. But it's important at any time, isn't it? But when you're paying down debt, I think it's even more important. You know, we do listen to the big finance gurus who say things like, you know, you're in debt, everything needs to go towards your debt. And I agree with that to some extent. But what I also think is, if you have something in your life that you really love and it keeps your mental well-being really high, then that's what you should be doing as well as thinking about your debt. So there's that £100 will go into the savings fund for things, you know, that I want to do. And then I've decided that I can probably afford to pay £100 a month off of my credit cards on top of my minimum payments. So that's where I am. I think it's been a difficult time. You know, losing part of your salary is quite a big thing, but I am going to start looking at other things that I can do to bring in an income. Now then, what I'm not going to do is try to replace exactly what I've lost. What I'm going to do is think about other things that I can do that will bring me some money, but that won't create the amount of work that I've had. I think again my mental well-being is really important, and what I've been doing, I think, is just trying to burn the candle at both ends, and that's got to stop. So this is my opportunity to take a break. What we'll do in another video is we will talk about some of the opportunities for side hustles, because I think that's really important, isn't it? But that's for another day. Let me show you the budget. Let me show you that all written down. So here is a chart which shows all of those things written so that you can see them and you can see how I've worked things out. So if this video has helped you think about planning your budget, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know in the comments how you manage your budget. What do you do? How do you sit down and plan things? You know, what's your method? I think we all have different methods, don't we? And this is what I do. First thing I do is work out what comes in, work out what has to go out, look at what's left, and then decide what I'm able to spend on those things like fuel, food, etc. One of the things that's not budgeted for in there is a holiday. Maybe you have a holiday, maybe that's something that you need to put into your budget. Maybe your hair isn't as highly coloured as mine and your holiday is more important to you. And if that's your well-being, that's the thing that you need to do. I really do. I must stress that your well-being is really, really important. So I hope that's been helpful in terms of looking at how you might think about planning or replanning your budget. You know, if you have lost some salary, please don't lose heart. I think that's the thing. You know, when I lost that bit of income, I just did initially think, what am I going to do? How am I going to manage? But actually, when you sit down and put those figures on paper, I just think it really helps to solidify it. It makes it real. It makes it doesn't look so bad. And one of the things I would say is, please try using cash where you can. Draw your cash at the beginning of the month, put it away in a little folder or a purse. Some of you may remember, and I've got mine here. Let me just bear with me 1 minute. I have a little folder with all of those little envelopes in that you can sort of separate your cash into. 1 minute. I've got that here. So I use this. I absolutely love this little thing, this little binder. Let me just show you inside. So it's got little cash pockets in it for different things. I've separated mine out into things like categories like fuel, food, coffee, and what have you. And what I'll be doing this week is getting to a cash point somewhere and drawing out those allocated funds and popping them in here. I've not had a chance to do that this week, but I will do that possibly tomorrow at some point. When I pay for my tunnel, I have to pay that through the internet. I have to pay online, so that stays in the bank, that fund. But I do sometimes draw my fuel money out. I certainly draw my food and my cake money out, and my hair money, and they go away till I need them. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please let me know if this has been helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.